All right, let's talk about AI. You've got tools like ChatGPT popping up everywhere, and they're incredibly powerful. But when it comes to academic writing, what's the deal? Is it a brilliant new assistant, or is it basically a shortcut to academic trouble? We're going to break it all down, pulling our insights from Mohammed AbdEllah's great work, Academic Writing, Simple Concepts and Easy Skills. Let's jump right in.
So this is the big one, right? The question on pretty much every student's mind. Can I actually use ChatGPT for my next paper? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's complicated. And honestly, using it without knowing the rules is a bit like walking through a minefield. That's exactly why we're putting this guide together for you.
And here's why it's so complicated. AI is a total double-edged sword. On one side, you've got this incredible promise of a powerful new tool. But on the other, there's some serious peril to your academic integrity. Getting a handle on both sides of that sword is absolutely key. Check this out. This really lays out the two faces of AI perfectly. On one hand, it can be an amazing assistant, right? Helping you brainstorm ideas, proofread the stuff you've already written, or even help with design and formatting. But if you misuse it, you're not just bending the rules, you're heading straight into academic fraud. It completely undermines your own learning process, it adds zero new knowledge to the world, and it puts you at a huge risk for plagiarism. So why is it so risky? What's the fundamental problem here? Well, it all boils down to one simple core limitation. AI cannot actually think. So let's dig into what that really means for you and the work you're doing. When you look at tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Jasper, what are they really? Under the hood, they're just incredibly sophisticated pattern matchers. They've been fed enormous amounts of data, and their whole job is to generate text that looks right based on your prompt. They don't understand a single word of it. They're just predicting what the next word should probably be. And that's a huge difference. And this quote right here, it just nails it. This is the foundation for this entire conversation. An AI can help you think, it can be a sounding board, but it can't do the thinking. And because of that, it can help you write, but it can never, ever create something truly original. Its whole universe is just the data it was trained on. So what that means is, if you rely on AI to do the heavy lifting, you're missing the entire point of your assignment. Academic writing is supposed to be for you to gain deep knowledge through your own research. It's for you to develop those critical thinking skills. And ultimately, it's for you to maybe add something new to the conversation. A paper spit out by an AI does none of that for you. Okay, I know that was a lot of warnings. You're probably wondering if there's any safe way to use these tools at all. And the good news is, yes, there is. So let's talk about what we're calling the safe zone. The secret is to always treat the AI like an assistant, not like the author. Here's a really clear 3-step guide to stay in that safe zone. First up, brainstorming. It's fantastic for generating some initial ideas or just breaking through that awful writer's block. Second, proofreading. Use it to check for grammar and clarity, but, and this is key, on text you've already written yourself. And third, it can be a great design helper for things like formatting or creating charts. And hey, don't just take our word for it. Even Turnitin, the plagiarism detection service, they agree. Look at the key phrases here, in your own words and with your own research. You have to do the intellectual work. And you see that last part, disclosure? Being transparent and just saying you used an AI assistant is your best protection. All right, so we've covered this safe way. Now let's pivot back to the risks. Let's talk about the danger zone. This is what happens when you cross that line and start treating the AI as the author. There are 4 major risks you absolutely have to understand. Risk number 1. This is the big one, of course, plagiarism. This can have immediate and really serious consequences for your academic career. And the tricky part is it can happen in ways you might not even see coming. So, AI-driven plagiarism can happen in 2 ways. First, there's the accidental kind. Because the AI is just mashing up text from its training data, it can accidentally spit out something that's already been published, and you'd never know. And then, there's the obvious one. If you just copy and paste what it gives you, you are knowingly using work that isn't yours without a citation. That's a classic clear-cut violation. Okay, risk number 2 sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie, but trust me, it's a very real problem. It's called AI hallucination. So what on earth is an AI hallucination? Well, as IBM puts it here, it's when the AI basically just makes stuff up. It thinks it sees a pattern in the data that isn't really there, and so it generates information to fit that non-existent pattern. The result is an output that's either complete nonsense or just factually wrong. And here is a perfect and, frankly, pretty chilling example of why this is so dangerous. Imagine an AI that's only ever been trained on pictures of cancer cells. If you show it a picture of perfectly healthy tissue, it might flag it as cancerous. Why? Because it doesn't have the context to know any better. All it knows is how to spot patterns that look like cancer. Now, just apply that same flawed logic to your history paper or your biology report. You just can't blindly trust what it tells you.
All right, risk number 3 you've got to watch out for is biased response. Academic work is supposed to be objective, and AI can seriously mess with that. This bias really comes from 2 places. First, the data the AI learned from, all that text from the internet, is full of human biases. And second, the AI's own system can sometimes amplify those biases, leading to conclusions that are skewed, unfair, and definitely not objective. And the final risk, number 4, is outdated data. If you're in a field that moves fast, relying on an AI can be like using a textbook that's 10 years old. You have to remember that an AI's knowledge isn't live. It's frozen in time. It has a cutoff date. This means it might confidently tell you about a scientific theory that was debunked 6 months ago, or it could completely miss the most important new research in your field because it happened after the AI was trained. It's a snapshot of the past, not the present.
So after all that, what does this mean for you? It really comes down to 3 core responsibilities. First, you are the author, period. The thinking, the analysis, the writing, it has to be yours. Second, verify everything. Every single fact, every source, every claim that an AI gives you, you have to double-check it. And third, disclose your tools. When in doubt, just be transparent about how you used AI to help you.
Which really leaves us with one final big question to think about. In this new world with AI, who is the real author? Is it the user who comes up with the prompt, or is it the tool that generates the words? The answer you come up with for that question, well, that's the line between using a powerful tool and committing academic fraud. Something to think about.